Okay, let's try to take this test. The first one I got right. In AlgoJewels CAD design process, what is the primary difference between parametric design and traditional static design? Parametric design uses sliders and inputs to manipulate the real time. Okay, let's see how I do on the next one. Here's a description in more detail. You may want to stop the video to read this. It gives you a better understanding of what the answer is and why. Now let's go on to the next question. Why does AlgoJewels guide emphasize start all designs at coordinate 0, 0 in Rhino? It is the only way to save a file as a 3D template. It automatically adjusts the render properties to diamond dispersion. Components and tools work more efficiently when centered over an origin of space. It reduces the file size of jewelry definitions. Hint. Think about how Rhino and Grasshopper calculate spiral relationships relative to the center of the universe. So, what do you think the answer is? Okay, let's see what it says here. Okay. Details. Let's see if we get... So we can get it to explain to you. Using ML Google Notebooks works great. It's an efficient tool to explain to you exactly what's going on and why we do things. Let's go on to the next question. What is the recommended tolerance for jewelry CAD design mentioned in the guide compared to the default Rhino tolerances 0.001? A, 0.1 millimeters, B, 0.01 millimeters, C, 0.0001 millimeters, D, 1 millimeter. Hint. The guide mentions the high software tolerance is often unnecessary for practical assembly in jewelry. So I'm going to say 0.1. The guide explicitly states that while Rhino uses high precision tolerance, 0.1 millimeters is acceptable for jewelry design. I may get some of these questions wrong myself. This is the first time going through it, so let's see what happens. Let's go down here and let's say explain. Stop the video at any point and read it. I won't read it out loud all the time because my reading out loud is not that good and probably annoying to some people. This concept of shake the input is very, very important. Sometimes when you use the algorithms and you see nothing on the screen, you need to shake the object, right, the algorithm slightly to make things appear. Let's go next. 4. According to the AlgoJewels workflow, what does shake the input refer to? Physically move the computer mouse around to refresh the screen. Make slight adjustments to the sliders to prompt the algorithm to find a valid solution. Delete the component and drag it back onto the canvas. Randomize all domains to test for errors. Hint: this technique involves minute changes to parameters when the display output is not immediately visible. Very important. So this would, to me, say, make slight adjustments to the sliders to prompt the algorithm to find a valid solution. Because of the high tolerance, the minimum adjustment shaking are sometimes needed to help Grasshopper locate a response. Explain. In AlgoJewels workflow, shaking the input is a practical troubleshooting technique used to resolve computational deadlocks where the geometry form fails to appear correctly in the design window. Here's a deeper look at why this technique is necessary and how it works within parametric design. The guide describes shaking as a way of re-asking the question to the software. Sometimes the algorithm gets stuck and fails to find a valid geometry solution based on the exact numbers provided. By making a microscopic change, such as moving a slider by just 1/1000th of a millimeter, you force the algorithm to recompute and re-enter the chain of design. Zero physical impact. One of the most important aspects of shaking is that it does not change the jewelry itself. Because a human jeweler or a 3D printer cannot work at 1/1000th of a scale, the change that small has no effect on the finished physical item. It only purposes to provide a correct computational that enables the software to locate the right geometric response. You have to say that this Google Notebook works really well in explaining to you all this aspect. This is a very important aspect of AlgoJewels and any algorithms. And people say, oh, the algorithm doesn't work. It doesn't show up. It's because they haven't read the manual, they don't understand what they're doing, and they don't understand the principles of shake the input. Next question. Which of the following plugins is required for the full functionality of AlgoJewels as listed in the Load AlgoJewels Required Plugins section? Matrix Gold, T-Spline, Paneling Tools, V-Ray for Rhino. Check the list of tools found in the Package Manager or the Files Required folder. No, you don't need Matrix Gold. No, you don't need T-Spline. No, you don't need V-Ray for Rhino, but you do need paneling tools. Explain. To ensure full functionality of AlgoJewels, several specific third-party plugins must be installed within Rhino and Grasshopper environment. These plugins provide the underlying computational power for complex tasks like pattern generation use. Okay. Required plugins: paneling tools, human UI, mesh editing components, Hopper, and Parquet, often used to advance geometry. Uh, Also, the guide mentions circle packing tools require kangaroo. Okay. Next. What is the primary function of the Universal Profile Maker component in the AlgoJewels library? It automatically assigns metal color and weight to a design. It calculates the shrinkage value of different resin prints. It creates a final 3D printable mesh for a shank. It generates profile curves used for surface creations via sweep and loft commands. Hint. Think about geometric ingredients needed to perform a sweep one or loft command. That would be, it generates a profile curve used for surface creation via sweep one and loft. Explain. You can. Okay, Universal Profile Maker is considered one of the most essential tools in the AlgoJewels library because it defines cross-section shapes of a piece of jewelry. Customize and the vault. Beyond the basic built-in shapes, the component allows you to draw any closed planar curve in Rhino and set it to the custom input. This means you can design a unique profile once and then reuse it across multiple different ring sizes and gemstones. The flexibility is why the component is found in almost every AlgoJewels definition. In summary, gotta say, this AI is pretty intelligent once you give it the right information to work with. When setting up a rendering properties in Rhino for AlgoJewels, what specific image file is used to create a 360 environment? A JPEG of a gold nugget texture, a JPEG of a diamond dispersion found in the AJ files, a ping of the AlgoJewels Grasshopper logo, a TIFF file of a jeweler's workbench. The name of the environment you are instructed to create matches the subject of the required image. I would say the jewelry dispersion. Perfect. Okay, explain. Here it explains to you exactly what's going on, how to set it up, and why. Like I said, stop the video, read the context to get a better understanding. We're using Google Notebooks based on the AlgoJewels manual and a few other PDFs to get you this accurate information. Next, in the chain of design concept, which component serves as logistics? Next, link after establishing ring size and the profile curve, the diamond dispersion, price tag code component, sweep one component to make the ring, save the master file as a 3DM template, sweep one component. Stop the video, read the answer. Next, final question. What happens when you disable a component in Grasshopper Canvas as described excuse me, in the AJ guide? The component is deleted from the file permanently. The component remains visible, but its outputs are hidden in Rhino. The component is taken off line in the computational workflow to speed up the file. The component, let's see what the hint is. When you consider what might want to stop specific mathematical computations during complex projects. Let's see if that's right. Okay, we're right. The component is taken offline from the workflow to speed up the file. Go here, explain. So what you do is you open Google, you open Notebooks, you load up the PDF from that you receive with AlgoJewels, and you can start using it to get answers. This is just a short introduction on how to use your AJ manual to understand what's going on, and Google Notebooks. In this particular case, we're using Google Notebooks and sharing. Thank you for watching.